Florida has a hidden secret. There's something about the state of Florida that the vast majority of people who don't live here aren't aware of. The people who live here, however, are very keenly aware of it. What is that secret? In a word, wildlife. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some footage that was taken earlier this morning, not very far from here, that proves Florida is not overpopulated. It is not overrun with people. Many people think, wow, 22 million residents and it's growing so fast. There must not be any wild areas left. There must not be any wildlife other than maybe mosquitoes and alligators. Well, the exact opposite is true. And now I have video footage to share with you to prove this. I've mentioned before that I live in this little tiny town called Palm Coast, Florida. It's over on what they call the historic coast or the first coast, northeastern coast of Florida, nestled in between St. Augustine and Daytona Beach. One of the neat things about living here is that they haven't raised every single lot for houses. And they leave a lot of wild open space around. And that is very conducive to wildlife being everywhere. Over at the Florida Maquis Instagram account, I shared this picture about, 2 weeks ago of a very large bobcat right near the edge of the woods, only a couple houses away. This still image doesn't do justice to how big this cat is. And that's right here in Palm Coast. But earlier this morning, only a few hours ago, somebody got video of this guy, and I think it's the same cat. And I'd like to share that with you today. Now, I have the video set to half speed. The cat is right here. This person is videoing out the back of their house, I'm assuming. I have the audio turned down because the person's little yap factories are going nuts, and it's very distracting. But check out how big this bobcat is. Here we go. That could almost be mistaken for a juvenile mountain lion. It is a bobcat for sure. But it is just a very, very big one. And that it is this brazen is just absolutely amazing. Sunday morning, perhaps has that level of bravery because it knows most people are going to church, and perhaps they're not home. We're going to run this one more time to share this with you. Like I said, this is only maybe 3 blocks from where I'm speaking to you from. That's one of the biggest bobcats I have ever seen. Out in the middle of the day. I'll freeze it right there. I hope animal control doesn't have to get involved with this, but that this cat is this big and is this brazen, there's a lot of folks that have little kids, and a cat this big wouldn't be picky. Now, life always finds a way. No matter where you're at, whether it's Florida, whether it's the freezing cold north, or Antarctica. I've shared this article before about warm Antarctic caves harboring secret life. I know this is kind of a strange segue, but it really does make sense when you think about it. Because this is from 8 September 2017. It doesn't say warm Antarctic caves used to 90 million years ago harbor secret life. This article is saying that's the case now. A secret world of animals and plants, including unknown species, may live in warm caves under Antarctica's glaciers, scientists say. The caves, hollowed out by steam from active volcanoes, are light and could reach temperatures of 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, researchers said, raising the possibility of a whole ecosystem of flora and fauna deep beneath the frozen surface. Now, is this Florida Maquis making this up? Is this the crazy Antarctica guy? No. This is an article from phys.org from 2017. A study led by the Australian National University around Mount Erebus, an active volcano on Ross Island in Antarctica, showed extensive cave systems. Now, there are dozens and dozens of volcanoes all over the continent of Antarctica. Lead researcher Sarah Fraser said forensic analysis of soil samples from the caves had revealed intriguing traces of DNA from algae, mosses, and small animals. While most of the DNA was similar to mosses, algae, and invertebrates found elsewhere in Antarctica, not all sequences could be fully identified. The results from this study give us a tantalizing glimpse of what might live beneath the ice in Antarctica. There might even be new species of animals and plants. The next step is to go and have a really good look and see if we can find communities living beneath the ice in Antarctica. Now, this is a scientist. One of the few that has actually spoken up about Antarctica in a way that's not trying to condemn somebody for driving an SUV. Despite the continent's freezing temperatures, Fraser said heat emanating from the volcanoes could make the caves quite hospitable, warm enough, quote, to wear a t-shirt and be comfortable, with light filtering deep down where the overlying ice was thin. And little is known about the flora and fauna that live there. I'll share this article. I've shared it before. I think it's important for people to read. Now, here's where things just go sideways. Let me find the image. This is from another article talking about Antarctica so many millions of years ago, where the mean average temperature was about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. If this was the case then, where else in the world has this ever been the case where there wasn't civilization of some kind? Even in the Brazilian rainforest to this day, there are people out there living much as they lived 10,000 years ago. Ancient sea core, ice core extracted from Adélie Land, Antarctica sheds light on modern climate change. You see, they take the same information here and then they extrapolate it in some way to beat you over the head to say, oh no, this is terrible. But this article actually gives away a little bit of the game because they're starting to get a little sloppy. The ancient rainforest of Antarctica. Picture a land of swamps and conifer trees, where the annual mean temperature is around 53.6 Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius, similar to locations in the Ohio River Valley in the United States. Now, remember, climate change has to do with civilization, right? Climate change is all man-made, right? Isn't that the position of everybody on the left? Listen to this last paragraph. This is where they get real sloppy. The major culprit for such a warm climate 90 million years ago, the warmest the global climate has been in the last 140 million years, was the high concentration of the greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide. Now, at this time, they're talking about when Antarctica had a rainforest. Estimated at 1,120 to 1,680 parts per million. Compared to today's figure, which they're saying is catastrophic, 414 parts per million. There was a thriving rainforest in Antarctica with life and plants and animals, much like the Ohio Valley, with CO2 levels in the atmosphere that were 3 to almost 4 times more. I thought they said, and I'll give you a link to this article, you can read it for yourself. I thought they said that would be the end of all human life. April 14th, 2020, meteorologist Michael Caro from thisisweatherology.com. Now, one last thing before we get out of here. I have the trail cam set up. And last night, of course, we showed the possum that showed up. Well, last night, I don't know if you can see over here in the water, we have a different visitor. And somebody else had mentioned, yeah, last night, and it was raining the last couple days too. 82 degrees at 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's with cloud cover and rain. Now, earlier in the night, there had been those same possums, and they kind of cleaned out everything, but this guy has found the camera, and I must have left some of my scent on it. But he comes back and finishes up some of the scraps. And lo and behold, here comes his buddy. Now, in that little plastic container of water in the bottom, there are a bunch of little river rocks. So I'm wondering if they're using that as like some kind of a bathing, or because they've been wading around in it, you can tell. But you can tell they also definitely appreciate it. And here he gets a little territorial. So, anyway, wildlife everywhere. Raccoons, possums, bobcats, hawks, lizards, spiders, snakes, you name it. It's out here. Rabbits, squirrels. And once again, it's not like you have to live way, way out in the country for this to be the case. This is right here in a neighborhood. And my experience is not unique, believe me. Stories all over the place. A lot of us have a Ring doorbell and Ring cameras. And there was that video from a month or two ago where the strange dinosaur-looking creature was running through the lady's yard. Owls and peacocks and all wild. So I will leave it there, but this is some pretty crazy video. I'll let it run one more time. I've seen a lot of bobcats in my life. This is one of the biggest I've ever seen. And to be out in the middle of the day in a yard, just chilling, brazen as can be, unafraid. I just do hope it doesn't have to fall to animal control to deal with this because of the kids. But anyway, God bless. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for sharing this and the backup channel, Florida Mucky Alpha Site. We will see all of you guys tonight on Twitch.